Hi everybody, it's time for interactive problem number 21. So on problem 21, this actually comes from my duplicate game last week where a quarter of the people got to play this hand. Now everybody can try their hand at this problem. So the King of Hearts is led. Just to go over the auction, we opened a spade by South. Partner bid 2/1. We raised their clubs to 3 clubs. Partner supported spades, and with an absolute minimum hand, we raised to 4 spades fast arrival, which said, partner, I have absolutely no interest in slam. And that's how partner with 16 points knew to just stop this auction in 4. So King of Hearts lead, and looks like a pretty straightforward hand, but go ahead and use the interactive features, play the problem out, and see what happens to you. So now there's a pretty straightforward line of play. Like we can see we have the ace of clubs to lose and we need to draw trumps. So everybody should have started this hand by winning the ace of hearts and starting by playing king of spades and a spade. And when that happens, you see the 10 pops up, and then the second round of spades, East discards. And here we are. We've just discovered a 4-1 break. So we have to think about what needs to happen on this hand. And it's entirely possible that we can still make 5 on this hand, but we have to be very, very careful. The moment the defense gets in, what they're going to do is they're going to force us to ruff with the ace-jack-9-7 of spades. Right now, we have a 1 trump advantage over our left-hand opponent. They started with 4 of them, we started with 5, and we haven't had to use a trump yet. But the moment they get in, they're going to force us to ruff, and we're going to be at the same length as them. The problem with this hand is we need to let them in twice. We're going to need to give them the queen of spades, and we're going to need to give them the ace of clubs. And so the problem lies in that if each time they get in, when they play hearts, they're going to force us, if they're able to force us to ruff twice in the south hand, we are going to lose control of the hand, and they're going to have more trumps than us, and it's going to, which is bad. So this is a kind of a common concept of maintaining trump control. We're going to actually let them win this first spade. Okay, we're not going to play ace of spades because that's going to leave them with the high trump, and it's going to make it even harder for us. And now they're going to do as we expected and play the queen of hearts. And sometimes in a spot like this, we would look for a possible loser on loser play. This is a common thing when you're about to get tapped out, but we don't really have a convenient loser to discard. If our queen of diamonds was the 3 of diamonds, we could discard a diamond, and then we would be throwing a loser. But here, we don't have a diamond loser to throw, and a club isn't really a loser. So we take the ruff. Now here is the key to this hand, is if we knock out the ace of clubs, while there's still a trump and dummy, they can't force us to ruff in our hand. So the key is if we draw trumps now, then obviously when they get in with the ace of clubs, they're going to force us to ruff. But now we just play a club, and when they win their ace of clubs, there's nothing that they can do on this hand. They can't force us to ruff in the wrong hand. If they play a heart, we can simply trump it with that busy trump. Which is a concept that I talked about in my when to delay drawing trumps class. This is a common theme, not so common, but very important, that sometimes when you want to avoid taking a ruff in one hand, you need to leave a trump in the other hand to stop them from being able to force you to ruff in the long run hand. So I think that the hardest part about this hand was the spade play. After realizing they're 4-1, not going up with the ace of spades. I'm going to jump back now just for a second, back to that trick after they threw the 4 of hearts. Had we gone up with the ace of spades, this totally changes the hand, because now when we play the jack of spades, that 3rd trump from dummy is gone. So now they will play the queen of hearts, forcing us to ruff. And now when we knock out the ace of clubs, they can play the 10 of hearts, and now you can see that they still have a trump left here. So, and now when we ruff, now they've got not only do they get an extra trump trick, but we've also lost control of the hand, so they might get a whole bunch of heart tricks. So yeah, that's a good example of dealing with a 4-1 trump break. We didn't really do anything to plan for that 4-1 trump break, but once it came, we had to adapt and survive. Hope you enjoyed the problem.